8th grade, so this video is going to walk you through reading and annotating I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. Most of you did this in class, but if you did not, we're going to go through that now. So we already should have labeled our stanzas, stanza 1 through 6. I'm going to use that to refer when I'm talking about each. I'm going to just start with stanza 1, even though we've already done it for the most part for anybody that wasn't here. The free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. So right away we have the free bird. Remember that we're going to be looking at the difference between the free bird and the caged bird, as well as all of our literary devices, our figurative language devices that we looked at earlier. So the free bird leaps on the back of the wind. This is an example of personification, because we're talking about the wind having a back, and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays, and dares to claim the sky. This is going to be an example of imagery of the bird flying. And then last we have and dares to claim the sky. I think this is really important because we have an example of personification of the bird. A bird doesn't generally claim something, but we also have the idea that he's daring to claim something, meaning sort of like I'm thinking of him as like sort of conceited, that the idea that he can own the sky. So we have personification of the bird, and then that word dares gives me an idea of how kind of the speaker feels about this free bird. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. So we have our second bird, our caged bird, here. And it says that he's stalking down his narrow cage. That's a way of sort of walking. I have the imagery of the bird pacing, going kind of back and forth down his cage. He can seldom see through his bars of rage. This is important because we sort of have both figurative and literal language. So literally, we're looking at how the bird can't see through his cage. And figuratively, we're thinking about that he can't see through his anger. And again, we have the personification of this bird here, that he's feeling angry. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. I think it's important that we see that our bird is not free, and so he opens his throat to sing. So he's singing because he doesn't have his freedom, because his wings are clipped and his feet are tied. The caged bird sings with fearful trill of the things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. So again, we have our bird is singing, and it says of the things unknown but longed for still. We have personification of our bird, longing, wanting, even though he doesn't know what freedom feels like because he is caged. And again, this is what he's singing for. He's singing for the idea of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. We have sighing trees, which is another example of personification. Trees can't literally sigh, so we have personification of the trees. And then we also have the two things that our free bird cares about are worms and a breeze. So thinking about the idea that our free bird has a lot less big ideas than our caged bird. He's not thinking of freedom, but rather of his immediate needs. What I want you guys to do, let's read this last one. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. We have some symbolism here. A grave is symbolizing death. We have the death of the bird's dreams. And again, we have the idea that his shadow shouts. That's also personification. And so he's still singing. Our final stanza is a repeat of stanza 3. I want you to go ahead and annotate that, either using what you annotated for stanza 3 or annotating on your own. But what I want us to think about when we're thinking about this poem is that we have two different birds, our caged bird and our free bird. What do those birds symbolize? What is Maya Angelou talking about here? Because it's not just literal birds, but something much deeper. So keep that in mind while you're continuing to annotate. Good luck.